Hi, Sophie. Welcome. Please take a seat. It's lovely to see you. Thank you very much for being with us. So you're chairwoman of Sodexo since 2016. You also served as the group CEO between 2022 and 2025. You've led the company through a major strategic and digital transformation with a strong focus on sustainability, people and innovation. Today you bring a unique perspective on just how AI and technology can drive both performance and positive impact in large people-centric organisations. So it's great to have you with us. For those who don't know, tell us about Sodexo, what it is you do.
So Sodexo is a food and services company. We have 426,000 people in 43 countries. We do food and services, and we serve every day 80 million of people every day. And what's very important in our business is that we are a B2B business. We have clients. So we have a corporation, hospital, universities, schools, venues, stadium, conference centers, but we also have consumers, those 80 millions of people that we serve every day. And I think for us, technology is part of everything we do.
So technology is part of everything you do. You serve all those meals. How does technology fit in?
Well, for all those people, it's part of everything we do, and it could seem a little odd for a food company saying, how technology. It doesn't seem obvious that AI is part of everything we do. So let me give you a few examples. First, it helps stop the repetitive tasks and help us our employees focus on the important things. Making good food, healthy foods for our consumers, helping them having a good experience. So a couple of examples for our employees. We have a tool called Power Chef, and it helps us evaluate the number of people that are going to be in a restaurant, that are going to be on a campus in universities every day, depending of the week, of the month. And by doing that, we have the right team on the site to serve them every day. Another example is a menu AI, and it helps us design our menus and especially adapt our menus. And we gain, it saves, it's 50 times less, it's 50 times faster than if we were doing it manually. So it helps us, adapt with a local product or with products for people with specific dietary needs. So those are the examples, that helps our employee really focus on the experience of our consumers and go faster on their daily job. We also have example for our consumers. Today, everybody, is connected through an app. So we have built an app within Sodexo to have a direct connection with our consumers. And today, through that app, we touch 6 million people out of the 80 million. And it helps them, order faster, pre-order, pay, pick up faster with grab and go. Also, we know their taste better, and we can propose them what's good for them and what they like, and also what's good for their health. And also, we have autonomous stores. I was visiting in Seattle, the Marina Stadium. And when you're in a stadium, you don't want to wait in line at halftime. You just want to take your food, take your drinks, and go fast. And that's also very, very helpful.
So you're already employing a lot of tech, a lot of AI. What do you see as the biggest opportunities going forward when it comes to AI?
I think for us, as I said, AI will help our team stop doing repetitive tasks and focus on the experience that the consumers that we touch daily will have. And I think it's very important. And it's something that we have always tried to do, but through AI, it's going to accelerate.
And what would you say have been the biggest challenges when it comes to incorporating AI so far into the business?
Well, I think for us, since we're a people company, it's not so much the technology. For us, the biggest challenge is more about transformation. about how do you train people, how do you convince them that it's the right thing to do, how do you change their way of working. And I think that's for me the biggest challenge. But I think it's our role as leaders, to explain to the team, to show them, and at all level of the organization, to make sure that they understand why we are doing it, and that it's also going for our employees to improve their daily life, and the way they deliver the service.
And we've heard quite a lot today about trust and convincing employees and also clients that they can trust this technology. Have you found that an issue?
No, I think, it goes step by step. And for example, when I talked about, the app, some people and some countries, some culture are more digital savvy. So we started a few years ago. Now we have 6 million people connected. But little by little, it's going to happen. There is no way back,
And you talked about this reducing repetitive tasks. Is there a certain amount of fear, perhaps, from some people that they may lose their jobs?
Yeah, but, in reality, we are a company that's growing, and people, that's our role as leaders, to make people confident that they are not going to lose their job. And frankly, personally, I really think that in a world that is more and more digital, the human link is important, and a smiley is never going to replace a real smile when you are in a hospital bed or when you have a kid in school, a 5-year-old, And so we have to convince our team that their job is going to become more interesting, and that they are not going to lose their job. Maybe we will also have, to train some people, and that's what we are doing, because their job is going to be different. Definitely, we will have to train them, but it's not for us. I don't see it as I'm convinced that our team are not going to lose their job because of AI. They are going to change job.
So, like we've heard a lot, it's about getting used to using AI and enhancing the role or the job. So how is AI and tech also helping your sustainability mission, which I know has long been a core value?
Yeah. So sustainability for Sodexo is very important. It has been part of who we are, since the beginning, 60 years ago, and at a time where it was not really a global topic. And so I think we are the leader in our industry on sustainability. And today, for our clients, for example, we have a tool called C, and it helps track the impact of a site, of a restaurant, for example, in a company, and track with what's happening in the restaurant, what has most impact on the carbon emission. And for example, is it the waste? Is it the product that we use? For example, red meat. And we're able to support our clients, and they really like that, and they really want to have that information because it's their scope 1 and scope 2. So we help them making the right decision to reduce their carbon emission, and on top of it also with that tool we can we have the benchmark and the data to benchmark them with sites that are similar, and they can see if they are leading the way in terms of carbon emission or lagging behind, and it's pushed them and it motivates them to do differently.
And can you give us any specific examples of the kind of tech that you're using, maybe even to reduce waste?
Well, we have a number of tools. One of them is called Lean Pass, and it's the same thing. We measure everything that we throw away every day, and people, when they prepare a meal, they have a transparent box, and everything that is not used and is not put in the dish is put in that box and then is weighted. And I can give you an example of I visited a campus in Florida, and one of our chefs, realized that the watermelon, the green part of the watermelon that is not eaten, was weighing a lot, had a lot of weight, and was wasted. So he thought, okay, what can I do with this peel of the watermelon? And he had the idea of making pickles, pickle with the green part of the watermelons. So then he put those pickles, in a nice box, and then he sold them to the client, or he gave them to the client. So I think it's, for us, having so many people cooking every day and taking care of other people every day, we really have to, it has to be, our teams have to be very creative.
So a CEO of a huge organisation with a very large number of employees, what's the most exciting and maybe challenging aspect of your role?
Well, I think the most exciting managing such a big organization with so many people working in so different environments. We take care of a premature baby. I visited a hospital in Washington, and I've seen a baby of the size of my hand, and we were, our team were preparing the bottle for that baby. So we take care of people from the beginning of their life to the end of their life. We manage a lot of senior homes. So we see very different people, very different culture, and our teams work also in very different environments. In corporation, in hospitals, in schools, and I think we are kind of a pulse of what's happening in the world today. So I think that's exciting, and it's also exciting to think that working in this environment, we can touch people, but really touch people, not just digitally, touch them, sometimes knowing by their name, seeing them every day, when they are in school or when they are in the office, and we can have an impact on them. And I think in a big organization like Sodexo, what's important is to make the link of what's happening, in some part of the world, like in China, in India, in Italy, in France, in the US, in Chile, and make the connection. And because when you have a patient, for example, who is having a baby, or when you have a patient that is getting a treatment from cancer, there are a lot of communality, and even if it's an Indian patient or an American patient, through our teams we can support them better. So I think that's what's really exciting, and we want to improve, the life of people on a daily basis.
And what about challenging aspects of your role?
What about
challenging?
Well, challenging, when you're big, it's like you're doing so many things, and for us, innovation is not about reinventing. Very often in our organization, innovation is just about copying what another team has done great. And it's challenging because sometimes people think, oh no, I want, I have this great idea, and it's just to leverage all the great things that is done, in some area, in a region. For example, France, it's a big country, so if someone is doing something great, in a schools in north of France, then we need also to make it happen in the south, and sometimes it's a little challenging.
And finally, what are you most excited about in the future, for the future of AI when it comes to your business, do you think?
As I said, what I'm most excited is that it's going to help reduce the repetitive task, and is going to help our team, really concentrate on what is important, the human touch, the creativity, the connection, and that's really exciting.
Okay, Sophie Bellon, really interesting to get your thoughts. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.